Ever feel like you're clinging to a plan? But it's like riding a runaway train. To-do list out the window, that new app is more frustrating than fun, and then did your best friend just move to Alaska? If that sounds familiar, you get it. Change is the name of the game these days.
It's funny, though, we talk about change as if it's something to get through. What if it's not a bug? What if it's the feature? That's what we're going to explore today.
I love that. We're diving into that request you had about adaptability, what it actually means, why it matters even more than ever, and how to actually make it your superpower. And our guide for this is, remember that awesome video you sent? Characteristics of an adaptable personality.
Oh, fantastic choice. And you know what I like about it? It doesn't just throw these abstract ideas around. The creators really break down adaptability into actual traits we can cultivate, which aligns with your learner mindset perfectly.
Yes. It's like having a toolkit for not just surviving, but thriving in all this, glorious chaos. And you know me, I love a good toolkit.
Yeah.
So first up, flexibility. They actually call it the cornerstone of adaptability. Why do you think that is?
Well, imagine for a second. You're clinging to a plan, right? But everything around you is shifting. It's like trying to force a square peg into a round hole, frustrating and ultimately unproductive. This video reminds us that flexibility is about adjusting our thinking, our approach, even our expectations when the game changes on us. And for someone like you who just devours knowledge, it's about not letting these rigid expectations kind of box in your learning journey.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I've definitely had those moments where a project I'm so excited for just suddenly takes a left turn. And it's so easy to feel overwhelmed, now what? But the video reframed this in such a cool way. It's like, those are actually the moments you want so you can flex those adaptability muscles.
Exactly. They actually use this example very relatable about a project at work that takes this last-minute turn. And instead of panicking, the video encourages us to view it as a chance to exercise our flexibility. It even gives us some practical tips, like practice being open-minded, learn to be comfortable with uncertainty, and this is a big one, let go of those rigid expectations that we tend to cling to so tightly.
It's funny how those expectations can trip us up, right? But what I loved is that it didn't just say, be flexible and then move on. It connected it so seamlessly to resilience, which is so key. It's not about never getting knocked down, it's about how quickly and even how well you get back up.
And here's where I think it gets really interesting. The video says that true resilience is more than just bouncing back. It's about this whole idea of viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth. It's about shifting our entire perspective. You know how you're all about not feeling overwhelmed? Well, imagine if instead of adding to that feeling, setbacks actually chipped away at it because you learned to use them to your advantage.
Okay, now that's a game changer. It's like, what if that obstacle was actually the stepping stone you needed to get to that next level?
Exactly. And so instead of getting stuck in that woe is me cycle, adaptable people, as the video highlights, ask themselves, okay, what did I learn from this? How can I actually use this experience to grow? It's about transforming a negative into fuel for progress.
It's like turning those oh no moments into aha moments, which, let's be honest, are way more fun. But you know what else the video totally nailed? It talked about resilience, and then it connected that with this idea of open-mindedness, which for you feels especially relevant. You're all about those aha moments and multiple perspectives.
They really do go together, don't they? Think about it when you're open to new ideas, even if they kind of challenge your current thinking. You're basically building up a tolerance for the unexpected. It's like cross-training for your brain.
Ooh, I'm stealing that one. And it's so true. If you're only willing to see things from one perspective, any shift is going to feel like a threat.
Exactly. The video actually defines open-mindedness as basically the willingness to consider new ideas, even or maybe especially if they're different from our own, which isn't just about being nice, it's about giving yourself permission to find new, maybe even better ways of doing things, which I know is something you're all about.
Absolutely. I might be perfectly happy with my current note-taking system, but if someone's like, oh my gosh, this new method changed my life, I'm at least going to check it out. Who knows, maybe it'll be a game changer. Which actually reminds me, the video made this other connection between open-mindedness and problem solving.
It's a natural progression, right? Like if you're open to new ideas, you're more likely to find these creative solutions to problems. The video said adaptable people don't just solve problems, they excel at it. Not because they've got this secret formula or something, it's because they're able to approach a challenge from multiple angles, consider all these different viewpoints, and come up with solutions that might not be obvious right away.
It's like they've got this whole arsenal of mental tools they can use. They're not afraid to experiment, think outside the box, maybe even get a little messy in the process.
And that willingness to experiment, that embrace of the unknown, it all ties into another crucial aspect of adaptability that the video highlights, which is emotional intelligence, or EQ.
Now, this is a big one, especially in a world that feels like it's running on this, hamster wheel of emotions sometimes.
Absolutely. The video talks about emotional intelligence as this ability to understand and manage not only our own emotions, but also the emotions of other people. And this isn't about suppressing emotions or anything, it's about being aware of them, acknowledging how they influence us, and then choosing how we respond.
It's like that saying, you can't control the waves, but you can learn to surf. And in a world that's always throwing these curveballs at us, being able to ride those emotional waves without getting completely wiped out, that's essential.
Precisely. The video really emphasized how adaptable people, they have this high degree of self-awareness. They get their own emotional triggers and how those emotions impact how they think and act. And having that self-awareness, that's what lets them stay grounded, even when everything feels chaotic around them.
Which makes me think of another trait that often gets overlooked when we're talking about adaptability: patience.
Yeah.
And I know we tend to associate it with waiting in line or slow internet, but it's so much bigger than that.
Oh, it really is. And the video does such a great job of explaining why it matters for adaptability. Because we live in this world that is obsessed with instant gratification, quick fixes, immediate results, and that makes it so hard to actually be okay with the messy process of change.
Because change rarely happens overnight, right? It's a process, trial and error, learning, adapting along the way. And all of that takes patience.
Exactly. Adaptable people, they get that real, meaningful change takes time. They're not thrown off by setbacks or if progress is slow. They trust that even if things feel uncertain or uncomfortable right now, it's all part of a larger journey.
It's about being present in the process, even when it's messy, maybe even a little uncomfortable, knowing that often that discomfort is actually a sign of growth, which honestly is kind of an empowering way to look at it. And, this all ties into another point the video makes about self-confidence.
It's like the secret ingredient, isn't it? Because you can have all the flexibility and resilience in the world, but if you don't actually believe in your ability to adapt, you're always playing catch up.
It's like having all the ingredients for this amazing meal, but then you totally forget to turn on the oven. What's the point of having all the tools if you don't think you can actually use them?
Right.
It's like having the latest, greatest smartphone, but then you're too scared to even take it out of the box.
And adaptable people, they're not afraid to crack open that box, even if they end up, messing up the screen protector a few times.
Cause to them, those little mess-ups, those are just learning opportunities in disguise.
Exactly. And that brings us to, I think, the final trait the video links to adaptability, which is a learning mindset. It's not just about gathering all this knowledge. It's about looking at everything with curiosity, always looking for ways to, grow and evolve.
Those are the people who are always signing up for a new class or trying to learn a new language, or maybe they've got that new hobby they're geeking out about. They see the world as this giant playground and they can't wait to explore every corner of it.
And what I find so interesting is the more they learn, the more they realize how much they don't know. But it doesn't scare them off.
It actually energizes them.
Totally. They're comfortable with ambiguity, not having all the answers. In fact, they kind of get a thrill out of it.
Because for them, it's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about making that room bigger, expanding it, It's about this whole journey of always being a learner. There's always something new to discover, something new to master.
And that's where adaptability becomes really powerful, I think. It's not just about, something changed, I better react. It's about shaping your future. It's about taking those curveballs and seeing them not as setbacks, but as opportunities to learn, to grow, to become even more resilient, more adaptable.
More you. Okay, hold on. I'm writing that down. Seriously, though, this all goes back to something you said at the beginning. What if change isn't a bug? What if it's the feature? That really stuck with me. What if instead of resisting change, we leaned into it? Got excited about the unknown, about the chance to reinvent ourselves, discover these hidden strengths we didn't even know we had.
I love that, because here's the good news. Adaptability, it's not like this thing you're born with or you're not. It's a skill. And like any skill, you can learn it, you can develop it, you can get better with practice.
Like building a muscle. You use it, it gets stronger. And this video gave us all those tools to do that. So I'm curious, as we wrap up here, what's resonating with you the most? What's one takeaway you're going to try and use this week?
I think for me, it's that whole shift in perspective. From obstacles are roadblocks to obstacles are stepping stones. It's such a small shift, but it can totally change how we approach challenges.
I love that. And for me, it's that reminder that adaptability is a journey. It's not a destination, right? It's about really diving into this whole lifelong learning thing, always evolving, becoming a more well-rounded, resilient, adaptable you.
Beautifully said. And remember, you don't have to do everything at once. Start small. Pick one thing, maybe one area in your life where you want to be more adaptable, and just focus on developing one of these traits at a time.
Progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
Right. So there you have it. Your deep dive into the power of adaptability. We explored what it is, why it matters now more than ever, and how to actually build it in your own life. Now go forth and embrace the glorious chaos. You've got this.